Hello everyone, it's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi-Ban, and I have my lovely co-host. Hi ladies.
Hi Murayo.
Good morning.
What's
I'm
up?
seeing your waist more and more, so whatever you are doing, I need to join the matter.
I have a weight loss
Hi,
product
Angel.
that I sell, and it works.
And she didn't use it, and she lost weight.
And who, Murayo?
Yeah.
She used 2 packs of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. But then she did not lose that time.
Hi Jumoke, how you doing?
I'm doing amazing, and I'm very grateful to God.
Yeah, please. Yeah, Murayo, go ahead.
We thank God.
I like your shirt.
Thank
you won it before,
very
right?
kindly.
On the show?
No,
Not on the show.
Nice.
but they registered so well.
This is really nice.
Freddie, the young man who does our cups, is the one who did it for my birthday. Thank you once again, Freddie.
How sweet of him.
I wore it for him on Instagram so he could, tag his people on it. So I was resting and well rested actually yesterday when there was a knock on the door, and it was the AC man. I have to thank my people. The AC was fixed. I slept very well. Only for the man to finish and say, "Auntie, we watch you well on your video." I said, "Now you are in the privacy of my bedroom."
Oh, sugar.
But I slept very, very well. Now, the other issues I have come up again. I can't shower with sponge and cold water. My body itches.
I can't do cold water.
So now I have to start boiling water again. Before, without the AC working, my body was hot enough.
I don't know how people bath with cold water. I mean, I still feel
goodness.
my neighbor baths the child outside and cold water. Who baths with cold water?
Me and my children.
Really?
So it is a training. Let me explain. I think that when I was always used to doing, hot water, and then I went to boarding house and I was sick for like the first few days because there was it was just cold water.
In my boarding
compulsory.
house, there was boiling ring.
You went into a different boarding house. I went to grammar school. You went to Tush school.
Your grammar school had boarding house?
Yeah. Comprehensive high
Anyway,
school.
it's all about, warm water in the least. Warm. I mean, I like it really hot.
When it's
won't try
really
it.
cold in the Hamatan, we used to
Yeah.
bath with cold water.
I bath
as
with
students
hot
in
water, but
secondary
my
school.
kids, I make it warm because, How you doing there, Tokwe?
I'm good. So, countdown to my birthday. I'm so excited.
Which day is it again?
It's on the 12th of May.
That's Saturday,
and
right?
that's
Not to be on the
Saturday.
show. I'm so happy.
It's Saturday.
I am
so-
actually happy about it too because I think that my last birthday and the last few ones have been on the show.
So what are you
I
doing
want
on
to be-
Saturday?
I'm going
Are you
to be.
taking us out?
No, I'm going to be in Ekiti State.
What the heck
Okay,
is
what's
happening
happening there? Are you voting or running
No,
for office?
no.
We remember to greet you before 12 midnight.
No, but we're going to do party. We're going to be partying on Friday and we'll party on Monday.
What's going on in Ekiti?
I'm going for a burial of a very close friend.
Your birthday. Oh,
Of course.
Yes, it's a very cloose friend. She lost her
sorry.
dad, so
Okay,
I
that's
need to
bad.
be there for her. She's been through a whole
By
lot
the
in
way, I
recent
love
times.
your lip color.
Thank you.
So bright and
How you
red.
doing, Mariam?
I'm doing good.
Plans for the weekend? We're not seeing you tomorrow, so.
No, you are.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
Yes.
cool.
She's on
I'm
this week.
almost like Mariah on the show this week. I'm here every day except
so how
one
you
day.
doing? Anything happening?
Yes. I don't know if you remember in the papers in Taraba State there was a tanker, that
Yeah,
killed.
I saw that.
Yes. And I heard about it. I have an auntie that lives in, my mom's older sister that lives in Jalingo. And you know how you just hear these things and you're like, oh, it's happened to some people, you know?
Right.
I didn't realize that she was, of course, thankfully, she escaped with bruises and she had
my
to go
goodness.
to the hospital to check, if she
my
broke any
goodness.
bones. But I didn't even bother to call her
Oh, my
or anything. It
Lord.
was days later. And I heard, so,
It always seems far
yeah,
away
it just
until it
seems so
reaches.
far away,
Yeah.
cannot be, so it just
And
really
say,
brought
and
it
so
home.
more,
So
no,
we're so,
and so call Lumo. Right.
Mariam, that's a beautiful skirt you're wearing.
Oh,
I'm
thank
just
you.
seeing it properly. Nice.
cute.
Pretty girly. Pretty girly.
Yeah, very girly.
So, I'm doing great.
How are
our
you?
business?
My business is doing very. In fact, I sold out within 24 hours. I'm doing a new batch today. It's great. People are supporting.
I hope you have the one I'm going to use for my cereal this morning.
I don't know about that one, but
Okay.
it honestly is interesting, and people want me to just jump so fast. I did the model which is giving out free and get people to talk about it, to try it out and everything, but people want you to do the next thing, get an office, I'm like, easy.
have to scale up
I'm not
properly.
in a hurry.
One
It's
step
small,
at
so
a
I'll just keep
time.
doing it homemade, gradually, till I get to the point where I feel it's
The
time to
business
burst
will
out.
outgrow your house by itself.
Don't
So let me
jump.
not jump the gun. So people should just stop putting me under pressure, I beg. Let's go on a break now. It's Thursday, we're gisting all the way, but first, we'll breeze through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us, we'll be right back. very quickly. The Punch. Mixed reactions as Senate says IG unfit for public office. Bombers die as worshippers foil attack on Bornu Mosque. Health workers in states, local governments to join strike. Islamic scholar and billionaire businessman Isyaku Rabiu dies. World Congress or your federal lawmakers chide Ajimobi over violence. Soldiers torture ex-serviceman to death. Dump corpse in hospital. Ebola outbreak. FG orders surveillance in nation's borders. Ekiti. INEC gives parties May 15th deadline to submit candidates' names. Most states can't survive without federal allocation, says Oshimbaju. And crisis hits APC as new PDP group writes Oyegun for marginalization. Over marginalization.
Head of strange fellows.
The soldier, the ex-soldier that was
please go
tortured
ahead.
to death, he used to, his name is Victor, or was Victor Choma. He's a 25-year-old ex-military soldier. He fought Boko Haram, in Maiduguri, but he left because of, issues with no weapons and things like that. But then he had gotten a job as a security person at this construction site.
Right.
And he was accused of selling an iron rod to someone else. Although he denied the allegation, but soldiers picked him up, tortured him, and the person who was caught with the rod killed him and dropped his body off at the hospital.
Oh my goodness.
When
He's
you
just-
retire from the army, what happens to you? So you just become a civilian
No,
and the
he
government
did-
doesn't look after you?
Maybe he deserted.
And he didn't desert. Well, he left. I think you can
Yeah.
leave, but I don't think he deserted. He left because you remember that time they had issues with no weapons.
weapons.
Yeah,
He
so
deserted.
he deserted.
Yes,
Anyway,
once
so,
you
but I
leave
think
without
that he fought for our country and he
Yeah.
shouldn't have
He
been
shouldn't
treated
have-
that way.
exactly.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
May his soul rest in
May his
perfect
soul
peace.
rest in
Let's
peace.
move on to the nation. Ex-PDP leaders in APC give 7-day deadline for talks. Ekiti APC elders OK delegates Congress. Ajimobi raises arson alarm on APC office. Forbes rates Dangote among world's top 75. And Lagos by the road to be completed before December. So the ex-PDP leaders in APC, that's the new PDP actually, are saying that they are asking for, they've given a 7-day ultimatum, say, listen, they feel marginalized and that the leaders and the elders should see.
While we're waiting for a third force, that proper third force, the party that we feel can rival APC or PDP, can APC get their act together? Because it's funny for Nigerians that are feeling hopeless with the situation on ground to see that even no political party, there's nobody we can look up to become. That means that the same old will just roll over
But
again.
they're saying
Another
that-
4-year repeat of what we've been seeing.
But they're just saying that the alliance hasn't really favored them since 2015. So they feel that they've
my
been
God.
marginalized.
Everybody Nigerian too.
Hey,
Welcome to the
I
club.
just even can't say anything on this one.
Moving on to Daily Sun. New PDP members in APC revolt. Talked about that. Inspector General unfit to hold public office, says Senate, because he keeps refusing to come and face the panel. Ebola, 5G orders screening at borders. Wike receives power of sports award in Brussels. 17 killed in fresh attacks in Adamawa and Taraba. So
I want to talk about the IGP and Ebola. So the Senate yesterday passed a vote of no confidence on the Inspector General of Police, calling him an enemy of democracy because he's been invited three times actually, without him showing up. And so they've sent the Senate Committee on Security and Policing to tell the president that they're very unhappy with his appointee. Now, it is in the Constitution, because the Senate represents the people, that if they summon someone like that and the person refuses to come, they will send the police to go and arrest him. Unfortunately,
This is
the IG is the IG of police who will arrest him. Talking about it,
Quickly, before you move on, so the Senate have declared a vote of no confidence on the person of the IG. Now, I have issues with our IG, so, but it doesn't mean that I also have issues with a lot of senators, and I would want, can we as a people declare a vote of no confidence in the Senate based on
let's not be emotional
prioritizing?
here.
No, I'm just saying, I have a
Because
right,
you know
because
that
they have a right to declare. I also,
but
they
you
are
know he
representing
goofed,
me.
right? You know he goofed,
They are
right?
representing me. And I'm saying that on a lot of counts, you have not done the right thing by me.
Right.
But you are taking it personal because one of your persons, your members,
Yes, Melaye.
Well,
but they're
I
now
know
saying it's not
can you
about
fight
Melaye
for me
anymore.
and
They've
declare
changed the story
the vote
somewhat.
of no confidence on the fact that I, as a single Nigerian, don't feel safe around the police.
Unfortunately, Tokwe, until the IGP gets to the Senate and the issue is only on Melaye, because it's the IGP and the security issues aside from Melaye. So he has goofed, not once, 3 times. In any sane democracy, he should have been sacked already.
Right.
That's right.
They don't sack anybody
here. He should have been sacked when he refused to go to Maiduguri, when our president asked him to go to Maiduguri.
He should have been sacked already. We can move on
everybody has
Ebola stories in other papers.
Fresh woes for APC. Don't go to farms. Militia wants Taraba communities. That's a threat right there.
So how do we eat?
Why we expanded Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, said Lai Mohammed. IPOP decries killings, cowardized by political class. Nigeria's excess oil revenue rises to 22.4 billion naira daily. States, local governments, health workers to join strike. Summons, a Senate declares IGP personal non grata, and Ekiti APC delegates kick against option A4 in rescheduled poll. We missed the Ebola story, but I think I can take it.
We'll take it somewhere else. Oh, should we talk about Joesu?
Yes, I was going to talk about
Joesu.
So, of course, Joesu has declared the Federal Ministry of Health as a Federal Ministry of Doctors, because that's all they seem to do to take care of doctors. He says that they have not committed, they haven't shown any commitment or honored their memorandum that they signed in 2017 to talk about the upward scale of their salaries. And, you know, the usual lack of equipment, few workers and things like that. So they're asking people on at the state level and local level to join them, and they're begging Nigerians to please understand with them why they have to take on this strike.
Can we also beg you? Because I saw a picture of somebody really in dire straits in a hospital bed yesterday. Nigerians need the medical industry to work. Unfortunately, as far as our president has the abroad to go to, nothing will change.
Which is why I say that should we do a vote of no confidence on the Senate, because they are the ones that are supposed to represent us in holding the presidency and the executive accountable. We cannot afford to have it impossible. Impeachment, maybe a threat of impeachment, maybe a move towards impeachment will get him. Let there be a move.
It might not be
an effective move, Morayo, as long as our president can travel.
Because there are some areas
What do we do?
Don't take me on this.
I just want to ask you,
what do we do?
Because you said areas.
It might not be a fair statement, but because there might be some areas that our president could be
there
effective.
might be. You know, might
so
be very negative.
Let us be very factual here. Let us have the facts before we just.
Okay, but I just wonder if the president
over dead people.
If the president had been rushed to the hospital and there was no one, I'm sure people would have been back by now. I'm sure Joesu's strike would have been over by now. It would have been settled by now. But because he did not, but once you get on a plane and you leave here, then you don't know.
It's really bad, Mariah. Don't worry. It's not defensible. Don't
defending the president. I'm just saying that we should be very factual.
Let me just talk about Ebola since we're on the health issue. The federal government, the Ministry of Health, actually, the Minister of Health. Yes, has ordered that all our airports, not borders, we have over 1,000 borders, who will man them? The airports, you know, that we should start, because Ebola has broken out in the Democratic Republic of Congo, 2 people dead, confirmed 16 cases. So we're being proactive so that Ebola does not come to Nigeria via the airports, but via the land ports. We are just praying to God.
I actually thought 17 had already died, but maybe I didn't get the numbers right.
16 died. 2 dead.
No, 16 died. 16 dead, yes. But they don't. That is seemingly Ebola situation, but 2 confirmed Ebola cases.
Right. So Anyways, let's rush through the rest. New Telegraph, new PDP block issues, 7-day ultimatum to Buhari in APC. IGP incompetent, unfit to hold public offices, Senate. Moving on very quickly now to Nigerian Tribune. The new PDP may pull out of APC this week.
Where are they going to?
Oyo, APC crisis. Unity Forum plans to scuttle LG election, burn APC secretariat. And any other major story that I've not missed? Nothing else. I think we have all the other stories. Feel good story.
Where's the feel good story?
Aliko Dangote.
Oh, that's the
only good news. The only good news from Nigeria.
Yeah, so please.
United States of Dangote.
Please don't say it again.
Change our name to United States of Dangote.
Do you people know, right, that he has his tax holiday has been extended by another 5 years to 10 years, actually.
So all this money we're not making.
Because, so, look, if the man was paying tax, We will not see it.
Yes.
Just let him construct
with
the
this life
Apapa Oshodi
Right.
express road for us.
We pay tax, we will not see that
We will
money.
not see it.
So thank God, let us
Oga Dangote.
Just be converting the tax to what we can see. Maybe
Refinery is
the next
being
5
done.
years should be for hospitals.
And
I
he's
think
done.
he's-
United
Yes, he's
States
built
of
hospitals. He's
Yeah,
built
he's
hospitals.
built
He's
hospitals.
provided.
Yes,
Yes,
really done a lot
he's done
for
so
his
much
people.
for
He's working
polio,
on,
for malaria.
Yeah.
Is it Apapa?
That's the 5 year.
That's
Okay,
the
that's
5-year tax holiday that I'm talking about. And remember, he lost some money during this recession. The man didn't even
Check
shake.
it. He's shaking.
Hey.
Anyway,
And he be a Dangote.
Now one head.
Olajumoke, Alawode, Jess.
all right, unfortunately, we have to round up. We need to bring him on this show.
Yeah.
It's nice to have you, to rub off with the anointing.
Yeah.
The anointing upon his
All of
life.
you are just smiling.
Like,
Somehow it feels like part of
Alaji
the millions has dropped on
Dangote,
us.
it's an open invitation to come to your view. Please,
sir.
come and grace our couch. We're going to take a break now. We'll come back. We'll now be gisting about what should be a woman's spec. Older men, younger men, or our age mate.
Hey.
We'll have a co-host with us. Stay with us, we'll be right back. A guest co-host. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Yes, so age, they say, ain't nothing but a number. Stories have been heard of men who marry women 20 years, even 30 years younger than them. But society doesn't frown at that. But when a woman marries a younger man, there's a lot of side talk. When it comes to subject of lasting love, does the age gap between an older woman and a younger fellow have any effect on the relationship? Joining us on the show is a family life consultant, Chidinma Nwobi. Welcome to the show.
Pleasure to be here with you,
You
ladies.
can call us on 070-806-6804. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweet. I don't want to hear the professional angle. Let us just get real.
Yes.
Doctor, would you date an older or younger man?
She's
Does your
married.
husband matter? Just
Oh, okay.
For me, honestly, totally age is a number.
so you can date a younger man.
Yes, I can definitely date someone younger.
And when you say younger, how young are we talking about?
I'm
5
saying
years, 10 years?
that maybe when I'm in my 50s, because I'm going to look really hot. If I was in my 50s, I'll date a I'll date a 40-year-old without. But then if you're in your 30s, you can't. Dating a 20-year-old is like pretty immature. So that for me is the issue. However, if I'm like really advanced, I won't see anything wrong with dating somebody equally advanced in the mind. There are many people that are old age-wise, but are extremely immature in terms of exposure and their personality development. They just want to remain small boys forever. So those kind of people will not appeal to me regardless. Which is why even as a young girl, I always dated
Up.
the
You
older
dated
people.
up.
Well, I've been there. Oh.
The younger.
Yes.
Which one
The
do you
younger.
prefer?
I met a younger guy, and he looked 3 years older than me. So
How did he
I was a
behave,
little
though?
confused. Now that's the issue. Because women grow up faster than their age mates. An 18-year-old girl, because she's dating older people, is very mature in her mind. An 18-year-old boy is, and one of my cousins had the same, and she was on the set. She was dating somebody in her secondary school. Now she's doing her PhD, and the guy is still talking about my daddy, my daddy.
Right.
You know, because women grow up faster. But if a man, for instance, was the younger brother to very matured sisters, understands women, is already used to taking care of women, and is matured in his mind, regardless that he's 25, I mean, look at it, Davido, and what he's doing today.
Well, is that maturity? You can
No. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, if Davido dates a 27-year-old or a 28-year-old, he knows how to take care of a woman. You know. So at the end of the day, this thing is very personal.
Exactly. I think that's
I
it.
agree
For
on
me,
that.
I do agree that personality is very important, and also that maturity, as we've all said, is very important. And I do believe that men age slower than women. And I do not think, as Tokwe said, I don't think that there's a problem with dating younger. I just think that there's an age that will be too young to date a man. I mean, if you're a woman of a certain age, men from you know, till their 20s, even their 30s, I think is too young if you're older.
But is it an African thing, though?
No, it's not an
Because
African.
only boy, they don't get that
How
problem.
come
oh.
you, Chidi, now? In your view, would you date an older man or a younger man, or same age?
I'll date someone I have common interests
Right,
and
regardless.
shared values with.
Regardless of the age.
I wouldn't do baby, like I'm 30 dating a 10-year-old. Even my mother would, you know, pray.
Right, of course.
Okay.
But an 18, 21 is a mature. So you're 30. Can you do a 21-year-old?
For me, it's not really about the age.
Right.
It's about how mature the person is. It's about how the person has evolved with the things that has happened to the person.
Older?
My husband is 4 years older than me.
Okay, so I'll just throw something in because everybody has been saying women are more mature than men. Could it be because we tend to date older men when we're young?
Yes.
If you, as a young girl of 16, your entire exposure to the men, folk, is your age mate, you won't be exposed. You guys will be talking Rihanna, Beyonce, that's all you will know. The reason women seem more mature and grow up faster is because they are looking at things that they shouldn't be looking at their young age.
Even during puberty, women begin to, you know, show the signs of growth faster than the men folk. So
you don't think it's by the dating of older men?
Not necessarily. Part of it is what society has fed us because we grew up knowing that, oh, for a woman, it has to be with an older guy.
Right.
But even science-wise, women begin to grow breasts, get, you know, plumber at certain places before. So the boys will catch up like
later.
about 3-4 years.
Physically and physiologically. Also, I think it's also upbringing. The girl child is usually taught from early age how to carry herself as a woman.
Exactly.
You know?
Imagine going home, you're 25 or let's say 30, and you bring an 18-year-old boy to introduce to your parents.
Let's look at it on the flip side. Let's be realistic here. You're a woman. You marry your age mate.
Yeah.
And both of you, but 30-30.
Okay.
You have kids. You get plumber. You have more kids, and you get more bigger. And he's still looking nice and hot.
In fact,
handsome.
hotter.
Before you know it, in the next 8 years, 10 years, you're looking like his older sister or almost even his mother.
Sometimes
but you're the same age. So now, that's probably the problem because they start looking at your husband and, he's their younger brother. So that's why, if you go back to this rule that women age faster and older than men. So
women will take care of themselves. Do they really age that faster? So you could still be married to a guy that is 10 years older than you, and if you let yourself go and you don't work on yourself, you will still look older.
I think the reason we're dating older women, we're brought up to date older men, is because of the responsibility. A woman is seen as a responsible, you have to take care of your family. So they push you off to marry quickly early. The idea is that you marry a really mature, influential, financially strong man who's going to now help the poverty situation at home. Do you understand? So it really wasn't about your age. It's more about get a responsible man that can take care of
So
us.
that's what I mean.
So the woman is mature because I have to be, I have siblings. We have to pay school fees. I have parents. We need to take care of them. It's the woman's responsibility, even when she's a young child.
I don't know if you want to get personal here, but I know you married somebody much older.
I
You
would,
also
I
married
would.
somebody.
I was thinking after when we come that.
Let me hear your story.
Yes, I'm married
Why
to
did you marry an older man?
As I said, for me, it was personality. I did not really look at him because of his age. It was because we relate well. And for me, I've always been attracted to the mind, intelligent. I think they call them sapiosexuals. You know? That's what attracts me. So I've never been attracted by looks. When it comes to man. Yes, that's what has always attracted me. And the older person seems to be more intelligent than your peers. You know, when I was dating my peers,
the other way.
But in my case,
you just met the sapiosexual that was older.
You would date your mates and they would sound a certain way. But then while you're dating someone older, and he's the only older person I ever dated, and I got married because, of course.
In your own case, what happened?
So the truth is that when I was 20, I looked physically like a 25 or 26 or 30-year-old person. I was like from 16, I've been this tall. So, and I've been this big. So it was more like everybody that has approached me based on the way I carry myself were always older people because my peers would not be bold enough to walk up to me. Sadly, I never dated anybody that was like 4 years older than me or even 6 years. Everybody that I ever had a relationship with was minimum of 6 years older than me. My husband is 10 years older than me. And we have fantastic rapport. So Before him, I was dating someone that was 16 years older than me.
What? 16?
Yes. And
That's
the issue,
snatcher.
no, but the issue was, let me explain.
Oh, your husband is 16. How many years you own?
19
Jesus
years, 2 months. Because I say to him sometimes,
How
I'll be
many
like,
days?
I'll say, you say, I'm 20 years older than you. I'll say, no, sir. You are 19 years, 2 months older than me.
He graduated before you were born. Close your eyes.
No, but you see, the flip side is when I dated somebody that was 16 years old. You know, you were saying they will be like mature and all that. For me, it was too old. He was set in his ways. He was not adventurous. He had experienced life. He was looking for a young girl he would settle down with.
Okay.
So I was going to be settled into the house. Yes. And that didn't look interesting for me.
And be having
you know,
children.
so sometimes those mature men are already, they are formed. You can't mold, you cannot, you just have to do what you get.
Did you ever date somebody much older or?
No, I didn't.
Was us
younger?
And for me, he was just the one. I'd never dated anyone older.
To ask Mariah the
older.
question.
So for me,
Because answer us now, Mariah. Did you date any man younger?
Younger than me?
Yes.
No, actually never did. But somebody approached me. I was like, young guy. Oh my God, I can't remember. This is
you sound excited.
No, because he was just so cute. I mean, this guy. I was working. I think young guy, green eyes, pretty boy.
You can still remember.
Yeah, I can remember because green eyes. Like, you don't come across green eyes every day. I think his name is Bremy or something like that. Cute young boy. Maybe he could be like 21, 22. And it was all over. He's talking about we're going to go small cake. And but it was interesting that he just wanted to take me out. I went on a date with him. Yes, we went on a date. Went to a movie together. He was feeling really excited, and I'm wondering, right, you know. But after the date, I was very polite. Said, "Thank you very much for the date. Unfortunately, I can't take this further." I'm very good at that. So I'll tell you, unfortunately, we can't take this further. I appreciate the fact that you liked the opportunity to hang out with me. But
let me just tell you how Mariah Carey's friends are envious
of her now.
When they look at her with her young Bonnie Cannon. And then all the young guys will be, Nick, how do you get that, diva?
Are they back together?
No, I was saying.
It's sustainable. We've had this kind of stories before.
Yeah, so the issue then becomes, this issue of respect. If you were going to cough when you were married to the man who is 10 years older, if you cough with the guy who is 2 years older, he'll say, it's because you are older than me.
Right.
Yeah.
Family life goes, so that's why we need your help now. Like, if there's a woman out there now, in that kind of relationship where her husband is 4 years, 5 years younger than her, she's probably having this kind of issue that Jumoke just highlighted. When we come back, how would she manage that situation? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So we asked the question before we went on a break. Chidi, for a woman right now in a relationship, in a marriage, where she married somebody younger than her, and she's constantly having that issue, is it because you're older than me, with her husband, and this issue of respect. How does a woman in that situation manage her relationship?
Okay. For such a woman that is in that relationship, it's important to find out from her if she still wants to be in the relationship, and then there are principles for making marriage work. And so anyone can apply that principle. And I'd like us to know that age really is not a factor in how happy your marriage would be. What is the factor are the two people who are in the relationship. So it's not the marriage or the age that is causing it. It's how both of you are open to learning the principles that make marriage work and commit yourself to doing it. So for that woman, I would like her to know that you need to understand what your partner understands by respect. Many times people say, she doesn't respect me. What do you understand as respect? For me, respect is ability to allow both of us thrive in whatever ways we want to thrive. Respect is allowing me be myself and you be yourself while we're still working together as a team. Right. If that is put in place in that home, everyone feels happy, everyone feels fulfilled and still working together.
Let me take this call from Paul. They'll come back to you. Paul, are you there?
There.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
All right. I always listen to your program.
Thank you.
It's interesting seeing more and contributing to the national growth. Yes, in the topic we are discussing, I think we should look at it in the other aspect of respect. If you marry somebody older than you, it will help you to respect him and obey, because a man is the head of the home.
Right.
But if you marry a pet, sometimes it's not only cook my food, go to work. What of other things that happen at the bedroom? When you say, come and sit here, give me my food. But the age will help you to submit totally and completely. And that's how God did it. In the Bible, God created Adam. Many years, we don't know exactly.
Thank you,
When
Mr.
you
Paul.
say they should bring me my food,
Oh my
the
God.
woman is not a house girl. You did not marry a house
No,
girl.
it doesn't matter. There's you can
I will
bring food.
bring you
Exactly. It's
Anybody
not a-
can bring food.
Anybody can bring food. You know, I was saying to you ladies the other day, I said, my husband, he's the one that charges my phone. Sorry, darling, not your street. I'm not trying to spoil your street cred. But he will wash plates, you know, he finds it therapeutic. My husband is just like that, and he's so much older. You think, as you said, that he'll be asking me to kneel down and raise up my hands. But no, you know, I'm not under any pressure to be a certain sort of wife, you know, oh, you must be this and that. So it's about
I wanted to
personality.
go to the point he made of the man is the head of the home. So when a man is 5 years younger than his wife, and he still wants to play the role I am in charge. Now, you said that respect is about how you define respect, but culture plays a role.
Exactly.
They feel that because, this is our culture where a woman, regardless of how much you're earning, you know, you are still under me. That issue of submission, as a colleague with the husband, where you're similar ages, it's hard enough submitting.
Then talk of
Now to now submit to somebody you are much younger,
Much older
than.
Okay.
In that situation, it's really hard. I mean, it's nice to make it nice and definition, but in reality, Chidima, help me out.
In reality, every family should form their own culture. While we have what the society expects of us, the onus is on each of us in our various homes to determine what is our own family culture. And so as the man being the head, headship is about leadership. So sometimes when men say man is the head, I just smile, because if they really understood what the headship requires of them, they might want to just pass the headship to someone else. Because headship is leadership, and you can't lead without influence.
Right.
And how do you influence when you don't do the things that is expected of you?
Right.
So man being the head of the home is just like we have the president and he has ministers. So you are going to allocate duties and responsibilities to members of your family based on competence. Now, not about sex. So if your wife is better in finance, she handles the finance. If the man is a better homekeeper, he can do that. Your husband washing plates, human beings wash plates.
Yes, so
It's not a role for men or women.
Whenever praise comes here and you're doing the same thing again, all the men will start bashing that you're programming women's mind negatively. But let me explain my point. Why I think really strongly that women here in Nigeria now, this new wave of information, we're fighting culture. And it is an unending battle that is screwed against us. We're fighting culture. We're trying to say that, no, I have a right also. I have a voice in this house. I'm contributing money. That's not our culture. It is true, but when you're fighting culture, you don't fight culture from a place of struggling to make it a war. You fight culture from influence, building it gradually up. But everybody on Twitter is contesting what a woman's role should be or what it shouldn't be. Influence your way into it.
All right, let me take this call from Bumi, then I'll come back. Bumi, are you there?
We'll talk about this.
Yes.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Actually, this is Ejiro Bumi's husband.
Ejiro Bumi's husband.
Yes.
Go ahead, Ejiro.
First time caller.
Woo! Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I am interested in the show. First and foremost, somewhere Saturday is my mom's birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to her.
And I wanted to bring to your attention in regards to age difference.
Yes.
Something actually struck me, because the president of France is 25 years younger than his wife.
Benio.
I mean, I can't imagine
Macron.
that kind of, how they manage that type of marriage based on the fact that he is now president and his wife is 65 years old.
Wow. Yeah, so Ejiro.
As a professional, could you please highlight those areas?
All right, thank you very much, Ejiro.
So what I know about Europeans is when I see Tope, I don't see Tope's age. She's just a human being. And as far as we're both adults, forget about the age. It's a number. It was the year that she was born. Just relate. Just relate. So
you're fighting culture. You're fighting.
Fighting in Nigeria that they would look at you. Miriam, they dare not bear Miriam to call me by my name. You are married to my husband's family, and I got married before you.
Let me tell you, your mate. Finish up with that point.
I'm your senior.
Yes.
So we are culturally wired towards respect.
Right.
So I will not call you Tope as my senior husband's younger sister. It's culture. I will call you, but it will not kill me. Listen, my husband is 5 years younger, and the younger sister too wants me to call her auntie.
No, I
may not call her auntie because I will not marry that kind of family. In the first instance. I will not. No. Because look, my brother is 9 years older. I call him by name. My sisters are 16 and 14 years old. I call them by name. Pay no need. So I will not marry into that kind of family. My brother's wife, I don't even know his age. Auntie for where? For what? Please don't call me auntie. I'm begging you in Jesus' name. So we need to start to relate to one another as human beings. Tope is right about saying that we're fighting culture, and we shouldn't be fighting.
Just
live your life. Because now, in those days, it was the man who brought home the money. Now he's talking about respect. We're not both bringing home the money. I'm still going to respect you regardless of your age. Your age is not written on your forehead. So I will do what I need to do in the house and not disrespect you.
Right.
As far as you're also willing to be respectable.
Right. Okay, let me take this call.
Okay.
And I'll come to you, Chidi. Morning, are you there?
Just
lost that call. Go ahead, Chidi.
Okay. She talked about culture and fighting culture. It's important that we look at it that we're not fighting culture. Because if we want to define what is culture, even in social studies that we're taught, way of life of a people.
Yeah, so it evolves.
At every point in time, we seem to leave out that phrase. So it evolves. The circumstances we have now was not there. So our forefathers would not have made any provision in our culture then for what is happening now. I mean, if you wake up your forefather and tell him there's something like cyber suicide, people coming, he would, he wouldn't be. So he wouldn't have made provision for that. But as life is evolving, people are evolving and redefining culture. And the best culture is the one that serves your best interest.
Right, no interest. Let me take this call from Uju. Uju, morning, are you there? Oh, we lost that call. Do you have some tweets, please?
Yes, we do have tweets. Bumi Ibikonle says, scientifically, boys have a higher risk of autism than girls. So extensively, observations have been made on their brain development. PJ Comedian says, age is nothing but a number. Some younger men think and behave more mature than older men. It's about the person's background. Bumi again says, talk about child abuse for that man. You dated 16 years older than you. T May, last one, says, I think what we should talk about is idea of maturity and doing the right thing.
Let me take Princess and I'll come to you. Princess, are you there? Hello, Princess.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, please. Hurry.
Hello.
Go ahead, we can hear you.
Good morning.
Hi, Princess.
Yes, I want to contribute to your show.
Go ahead, please.
I don't really like the idea of dating someone younger.
Okay.
Because I don't feel comfortable with it. And, women and their genes, we tend to get older.
Right.
Yes.
The men with time.
Right.
We tend to get older than the men.
Right.
You can imagine a 20-year-old lady getting married to an 18 years or 19. What do you expect? Even getting married to my mate is unimaginable for me, not to talk of someone younger.
All right.
I like the idea of old.
Older men to take care of you.
Two issues were brought up. One, the fact that you're respecting a human being. you're not respecting the age of that person. You're respecting the person as a human being. So whether the person is older or younger, the same cordial respect you would give to that 80-year-old, 90-year-old, give it to that 10-year-old, respecting the person as opposed to the person's age. Another issue that was brought up was, married, some people, it's about their upbringing, the mind. But how many young girls think about the mindset of the person they want to marry?
Oh.
Very few. They're not thinking about it. We need to educate you. As a young girl, you're not just marrying that person's car and the person's house and the person's job and the person's family. You're marrying his upbringing. You're marrying his psyche, his expectation, his pedigree. You're marrying the way he gets angry. You're marrying the way he resolves anger.
You're marrying his family.
Quarrel. So you must look at everything. That, can I live with this kind of thing? Not that you get married and you're not frustrated by the way the person reacts, because that is what you're marrying, the character of the person.
Because we need to go on a break now. When we come back, I know that you're working on a project, hopefully to enlighten people and help them to get proper insight before getting into this thing called family. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're talking about marrying older, younger, or even your age mates in the marriage. But let's take some tweets right now. Jumoke, go ahead.
Oguntola says, good point, Stockwell, you're on point. Cream Dollar Cream says, this is a very valid point. The younger and less experienced he is, the more open he will be in his relationship with you. Uncle D says, marriage is not all about age. It's about understanding and compatibility. If the lady has God fear, I'm sure she'll definitely succumb to me. Mubarak says, I really respect and agree a lot with Tokwe Amorayo's view on relationship. Bumi Ibikunle says, Paul should find a backseat in the movie titled Crap. Olifield the Young says, please, ladies, what's wrong for a man to go to the market to get things for the home sometimes?
Okay, I know someone, before I come to Chidi and what your plans are, I know a lady. She's, I think she's late 50s, like 57-ish, and she's divorced. Her kids are grown. They've left the house, so she's by herself. She's getting married to, I think, a 33-ish-year-old guy. And this guy has brought her alive. You can see her, she looks beautiful. She looks like she's 21 now.
She's glowing.
She's glowing. They travel around the world. Today they're going to Brazil.
How old is she again?
She's like late 50s. So it's not a bad thing to marry somebody, because when you've done the kids stuff, you've done the divorce or whatever, you're a widow, that kind of stuff, you're by yourself, they can actually help Marunre type thing, where you have a younger guy who, I mean, her other room life has changed. She's active.
In Nigeria, there's a Nigerian musician in her 50s.
Right.
When she married him, the guy was in his 30s, and everyone thought he was crazy, because at that age, she couldn't have children anymore. But listen, what's the first reason we marry? Companionship. There are people who have children and they're very unhappy in their marriages. And the man thought to himself that I'm going to get what I desire in a marriage from this lady. And so at the end of the day, is for you to make your decision about what is most important to you. So the question then will be, that if I am married to an older man, 10 years, I'm married to somebody my age mate, or I am married to somebody who is 10 years younger than me, as a contemporary woman in Nigeria today, what do I need to do to succeed in marriage?
It's continuous education. You need to continually evolve. You need to, because you can't fully know all the circumstances of your marriage or even the partner you're married to. So if you're not committed to daily learning about yourself, daily learning about your partner, and those principles, like I said, there are principles that work for a happy marriage. One of it is casting a vision for your life together and working together to, achieve it. So
talking
it
about
boils down
education,
to...
tell us about the conference you're working on, because we have to close the show pretty soon.
Okay.
What exactly is it about, and how do we learn from this conference?
In our work with families, we find out that most of the issues that people have, be it in workplace, anywhere, can be traced down to upbringing. And so if we're able to fix families, we will, to a large extent, create the change we want to see in Nigeria and in Africa. I'm sure you saw the BBC documentary that trended. We're all talking about it. But we can't just stop at talking about it. We have to get to the root of those problems. And most of them are teenagers. Why are they now seeking this destructive means of coping? It's because they've not been taught resilience, they've not been taught critical thinking, they've not been taught how to handle issues that will come up in life.
So
and
let
the
me throw the
first
question
is
at you.
back to the family.
So a Morayo, who's very busy at work, whose husband is busy at work, a contemporary Nigerian family today, that is the house girl that you leave the children to. How do you ensure that your baby does not grow up to become a teenager that needs codeine?
Okay, you know, we're talking about Nigeria, we're talking about the government. It starts from our government. Every family should have a governance system. Okay. So even if you're working and you're leaving your children in the care of care providers, they should have been schooled. They should have gone through the induction of what the governing system of this family is. Yeah, that's part of what we're going to be teaching. We're also going to be sharing templates for people who work with families, who work with children. This template has been tried. The conference is being organized by the Institute of Family Development and Engineering, and we've trained over 160 people, practitioners, and giving them this template. So they're going back to their communities and they're infusing the learnings from class into real life.
You're passing it to house girls.
We're passing it to as many people because the campaign must start from the grassroots, from our families. So we're passing it to parents, we're passing it to school owners, we're passing it to practitioners, we're passing it to every thought leader who wants to create a change in Nigeria, to know that the family is the production center of the society, and any change must start from there.
Practical step that when you employ a new maid, you're supposed to let your maid know this is how we run in this house. This is how we treat our you treat my children in this house. When you have any issue with the child, don't take it on the child. Discuss it with me when we have our discussion. Exactly. If because you've already discussed, that's the template.
You already have it. So you're working is a proactive approach.
That's your template, but who's your focus? Is your focus the government, your focus the parents, your focus the helps?
Our focus is every stakeholder, you and I, because we start implementing it right from our homes. Like I said, parents, you take it, you go back, you try to implement it in your home. School owners, business owners, practitioners, anyone that is passionate about Nigeria needs to be at this conference.
Clueless. They go to schools, they learn the theoretical part of it.
Exactly.
But the practical learnings, this template, meaning that they don't know how to handle situations with kids. And that's why we have these issues in Nigeria today.
Exactly.
May I take more tweets?
Yes, please.
Sorry, go ahead.
And so you were talking about the template. It's not just because we have trained people. Right. These are issues that we have gathered from the people who have also come from for counseling. Right. And so we've created a template that will work for our Nigerian situation. Right. Sometimes we get learnings from the Western world, but we don't adapt it to our realities. So with this template, we're getting people who want to work with singles, want to work with men, want to work with women, take it and go implement it.
I was told that the conference is actually free of charge. It's free of charge because that's why it was so important. I mean, and I know Praise for always involved in this project. So, and if somebody's like a friend of the house, and it's important.
Why are you people giving back?
Why are we giving back? If we don't give back, our children are at risk. It's not important that I know what to do with my children. My children will still interact with that children from a dysfunctional family.
So remember,
and so every one of us is at risk.
Always comes here and tells us that you're not born with a certificate of marriage. You have to learn parenting. Somebody you have to learn these things. There are skills out there. And I'm so excited about this Family Life Conference because people will learn the skills of how to help children, how to understand when they're going through issues, how to handle it, and where to go for help.
We went to last year?
The Family Life Conference?
Yes, now.
May 15th?
You were there
at Sheba event. Yeah, that's the second one.
I didn't go.
I'm going to go.
In fact, I got a kettle for answering a question right. I went to Nima.
Please take out time.
May 15th is the International Day of Families.
Wow.
And in our research,
the day venue, please.
It's holding on May 15th, starting from 9 o'clock. Registrations will start by 8. 9 will start in immediately. And on May 15th is the International Day of the Families, and there's nothing happening in Nigeria, in Africa about that date.
Imagine that.
You know, last year when we started this, we visited the United Nations Information Center and we're made to understand that no organization is at the forefront of projecting the family on this special day. So that's why we took it upon ourselves. So be there.
So
Sheba Event Center.
Our children grow up, Chidi, and go into the National Assembly, go into the Senate,
and they will
go for offices, and they throw chairs like that. We don't have the right structure.
Did not put the
Let me
right
give you
structure
something. You know, sometimes we say people rig election on the national level. This rigging started from our homes. And I'll give you, just to buttress what one of the callers said about headship. Okay, so now you have a family, there's the father, there's the mother, you have 3 children. So that family is made up of 5 people. So sometimes the man insists that his ways has to be the way.
Right.
That election has already been rigged because now 1 is greater than 4.
Right.
So it's not that he came to the National Assembly and we're rigging election. It starts from the home. Some of those issues we have are basic home training issues.
So that's why we're really excited about this. But unfortunately, we have to close the show. But we're very excited about this show because we need to start from the family unit. No matter what we're trying to do, what kind of change we're going to try and do in this country, we must start from the family unit. That's why I'm excited to have praised for and his team and you and the entire organization that we have to pay attention to this. So May 15th, join Praise and the team. Next Tuesday,
9 o'clock at Sheba Event Center. It's free, but you have to register. The link for registration is...
We'll give them online. We'll give them online. So I think it's off Mobile Bank Anthony.
Yes.
Come there, support, be there, learn, and then relearn and teach others and pass on the information.
I learned
have a
very
fabulous,
much last year.
You learned a lot last year.
I hope
Very
to see
good.
you again.
Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.